Welcome to Z Family Night, everyone. I see a lot of new faces on the screen. It's crazy what 1 week can do to you, right? Skip out of here for 1 week and you guys just bring a bunch more people on. That's excellent. So like I said, welcome to Z Family Night. We have a couple of new people going to talk tonight to introduce themselves, and I've been waiting for this one gentleman to come on and share his story for quite some time now, and so I'm really excited to hear him talk and share with you. So first of all, though, I want to just do a little bit of update. I am still under a very strong NDA, if you want to call it strong. I'm not sure what the word is, from what I know about what from the meeting and everything this last week. But what I will tell you is we have a very powerful leadership team now, a very powerful corporate leadership team, and I am so excited to have all of you get to know them. Malin Campbell is a very there you go, ironclad. There you go, Annabelle. A very powerful woman, but just straight from the heart. She knows how to conduct a room and do it so graciously, but yet so, like I said, so powerfully. And her mind is amazing. So I'm so grateful to have her at the top of this company now. And not that we didn't have it great before, but now we have what we needed to keep everything rolling smoothly and move into the future with her and Ken Doherty and our new addition of Kimber Madarazzo. She is bringing to the Z Club what we really needed, and we'll be able to just rock this Z Club like no one else. I believe that she has ran and taken care of, I want to say, $1 trillion industries. Okay, so she's really the person that we needed, and I'm excited. So the other thing I want to say is the $50 a month and the 10% fee are gone. You probably saw that on some presentations, or maybe you were on another training call. Those are gone, so you can make sure and let your team members and all the people that you have in your community, let them know that, so that they aren't worried about a $50 charge coming on their card. So that's just all I want to share for now. And I want to go ahead and pass this call off for a little bit to Steve Yurjevich, who he's going to introduce one of his senior managers to this call. And I'll go ahead and let him share about him and introduce him. Steve, take it away.
Thanks, Colette. As always, it's great being here. We missed you last week. Annabelle was a superstar as always. She steered our ship for our call last week. It was great. So it was a pleasure being on there with her. So thanks again. Yeah. So we, as we do on ZTEAM.FAMILY Night, we like to spotlight a few people who are stepping up into taking charge of their organization and just basically running with this thing. And I've got to know through speaking on the phone and getting to know a little bit about this man, Tony Knezevich, and I'm Steve Yurjevich. So we were instantly connected because of our last names ending in Vich. So Vich is where it's at, I guess. So yeah, Tony came through. Was brought on by Dusty Finch, and you guys, Zap, I know you know the Finch family, and you know what they're doing up there in Green River, Wyoming, is where Tony resides. So I'll let Tony share his bio with you briefly and let you know what he's been doing. But he's basically, I guess, the mayor of Green River, or maybe the governor of Wyoming, it seems. So Tony, if you can unmute yourself.
I think I'm unmuted. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
We got you.
So yeah, so thanks, Steve. That was pretty cool. Yeah, when I first met Steve, one of the things I told him right away was us bitches have to stay together. We stick together. So, but like
The
Steve
bitch
said,
is back.
Yeah, exactly. So I was pretty fortunate. Out here, out west, we didn't, although we're founded in, just about 150 miles from where I live, I hadn't heard anything about this come late October, and Dusty Finch actually had sent me a text, and he had just real casual said, "Hey, check this out." Well, he sent it to me in a pretty busy, well, all year is pretty busy, but he sent it to me in a pretty busy time. I'm a pretty avid hunter, so I was in the field quite a bit. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check it out. And about a month later, I'm glad Dusty stuck with me. And he said, "Hey, have you had a chance to check that out yet?" And I said, "No, actually I haven't. I'll be honest with you." He said, "Well, check it out." And I said, "Well, what are you, Amanda doing? I'm on my way to work this afternoon, and I'll stop by, and if we have a chance to talk, we'll talk about this." Yeah, absolutely. So long story short, he um he invites me over, and him and Amanda and myself sit down, and they're just telling me what the thought is and what the basis of this company is and what we're going to do, changing the world really, right? And I'm sitting there taking this in, and I can't believe what I'm hearing, to be honest with you. I'm hearing this, and in my mind, everything is making sense, and I'm thinking, why haven't I heard about this? So anyway, long story short, I go to work, and can't get it off my mind. I look it up, I vet it for about 2 days. I do nothing but try to prove everything they told me has to be wrong. There's no way something could be this good. And eventually I come to the conclusion of no, that I looked up what I did is I looked up Peter Rancy, and I searched him, and I'm like, this guy is solid. And so I jumped in, and when I jump into something, I'm 100% in all the time, 100%. And I set my goals for myself that night. The night I think I signed up at like 12:05 a.m. one night, and I set goals for myself to be manager in a month, and I made manager in 2 days, and I set goals to be senior manager in 3 months, and I made senior manager in 4 days, and then vice president in about 7 months, and I'll be vice president in about a month, or in about another 2 or 3 weeks, and that's going to be about 2.5 months. And it's just the program and what we're doing, and the goal and the mission is so good and so overwhelming that I just I just want to share it with everybody. And that's what I did for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks straight. I just shared it with every single person I knew. Um,
Tony,
and of course,
to
like we all,
interrupt you just a second.
go ahead, Steve.
Have you had any previous referral-based business experience in the past, or any networking and in a business, anything like this before?
So yeah, so funny you asked that, Steve. So I talked to Michael, I think about a week ago for the first time, and he's like, "So well, what have you done in the past? What other businesses have you done with this?" And I said, "Oh, this is it. This is my first one ever." I've never done this. What I've done is I've built relationships my whole life. That's what I've done. I'm very into wrestling. I have coached wrestling. I rep wrestling. I rep wrestling at a national level. I've coached wrestling at a national level. I build relationships. That's what I've done my whole life. I think I've been doing everything I've been doing my whole life to set me up for an opportunity like this. So no, I've never done anything like this. I just know people, and I have good relationships with people, and I'm as honest as the day is long, and everybody that I know knows that. And when I talk to people, they understand where I'm coming from.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I'm excited. You know, my youngest son is a senior in high school, and my whole life has been focused on my wife and my kids, and that's what we've done. And now we're kind of getting into that time of life of me and my wife are getting into that time of life of kind of starting to it's starting to hit as a reality that we're going to have a little more time on our hands. And I'll to be quite honest with you, I'm tired of punching that time clock every day, and this is the product that's going to get me to the next level and to where I can do what I'm truly meant to do. And that's not go to work and punch time clock. That's to help more people and help more people in a lot of different ways. And that's where we're going with this.
That's great, Tony. Yeah, it's great getting to know you as well. Just we haven't met physically yet, but we've spent some time on the phone and we text back and forth. So yeah, Tony's personally enrolled. Tony, I know you had positioned some people in your organization, but you personally enrolled a lot of people. I mean, you're you're so the
Yeah. So
more so than the
honestly,
norm.
I've got, yeah, I've got, I think I've got about 56 or 57 DVOs right now. And I've probably personally enrolled probably 48 to 50 of them. Right now, honestly, I could be VP right now, but that's not my focus. My focus is on helping other people get to senior manager.
Right, right,
And some of those senior managers are on the same leg, right? So
right.
it's not about the money, right? It's about helping other people. But
Exactly.
yeah, I've personally enrolled just about everyone in
Yeah,
just about everyone in
that
the organization.
that's how we build it. Colette, I know you're sworn to secrecy, so um, is any of well, I guess you can't say. I was going to ask her if any of that's changed or any of our strategies are to be adjusted or tweaked, but I guess she'll speak on that when she's allowed to. I know what everybody else on the screen knows and nothing more, you know. So where I'm hoping that our strategies, if they aren't the same, they're going to be more advantageous for everybody as well. And that's kind of the direction this company's been heading. So thanks, Tony, for your time. You're awesome, man. We
All right,
appreciate you.
thanks,
And
Stephen. I look forward to getting out there and watching the Steelers game with you, buddy.
oh yeah, right. Yeah, we'll go visit Kurt Angle. He lives like 5 minutes over this way, right behind me too. So he's
I
always
hear
in
you.
Walmart.
I hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Steve.
Excellent. I love your story, Tony. I haven't got to meet you in person yet either, and I'm looking forward to that. I love what I hear about how you're building and how you care about people so much. And like you said, this is what you've been doing your whole life, and it just now fits perfectly in with what we're doing. So that's really cool. And so, you know, I do hear that you're kind of the mayor there. So, do you want to fill us in why people say that about you?
Uh, well, I've never ran for a political office, although I've been approached, but I have never ran for a political office. But I have heard that maybe I should think about that.
I think maybe you should. It sounds like you're pretty darn popular and it just might be needed. So keep your mind
I
open. You just
appreciate that.
never know, right? Well, thank you so much for
Right,
coming on
right.
tonight and telling us your story. It's always great to learn more about people and just grateful for you. So thank you. All
Thank you,
right.
Colin.
So you're welcome. I want to bring on Amy for a little bit because I talked to her a little bit earlier today, and I just want you to kind of get a feel um, that sometimes we go through some things, and it's not just us that are going through it. So, Amy, you want to share what you felt today and what you did about it?
Hey everyone. It actually was a crazy day. So I woke up super, super anxious today and I had no idea why. But I have a lot of things going on personally. And and I try not to let that get in my way. But today in Phoenix, it was really foggy and rainy, and it's been gloomy the past couple days, which is actually a treat in Phoenix because it's always sunny. So it's kind of nice. But as I was
And
driving,
Amy, just let everyone know how you're still in a major funk that the Bills lost, so they understand why you feel the way you do.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Hey, Michael, you're not supposed to bun in like that. Just hold on. She'll get to that part.
Okay, that does have a little bit to do with it too. Just a little bit. I'm over it, but a little bit. But I'm driving up the 101 and I'm going up to North Scottsdale and I see the McDowell Mountains. And if you don't know, you don't know a lot about me, but I love to hike. And I really have been putting it on the back burner and I don't know why. And I think it's kind of really been bumming me out. So as I'm looking at the mountains, I get to my first client's house and I'm just like, I swear to God, they were like calling my name. And I'm just like, I really, what do I got to do to get to a mountain today? So I had Wednesdays are every Wednesday is my longest day, you know. That's why you usually see me like this. I do have a residential house cleaning business. So a lot of times this is the way I look, you know. I'm out there, you know, doing my thing. So I'm on site. I get through my first client. I get through my second client. I'm like, I just gotta go. So I live more south, and the sunset's obviously on the west. And I've got a mountain range, you know, very close to my house. And I'm like, I gotta go to South Mountain and watch the sunset. I need to clear my mind, you know. And so I made it happen. I went home. I threw on some clothes. I grabbed my boots, and I just go. And I'll tell you what, I'm about halfway through and I have my phone and Colette texts me and she's like, how are you? And I'm about a mile and a half in and I just was like already feeling so much better with my day. And I texted her really quick and I sent her a selfie and I said, I'm great, you know? And she's like, hey, I want to talk to you. So she was just doing what Colette does, you know, just asking how I was. And she's like, hey, give me a call. And so I called her when I was done and I said, wow, I said, I've been really anxious today. And what I realized is I am not putting, I'm clearly not time blocking because I love to hike and I haven't been taking care of myself. I've been pulled in a lot of different directions in the last couple of weeks. But when I was out there, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like euphoric. That's exactly where I needed to be. And I said to myself, I think this is why I'm kind of blue, because this is a passion of mine. I love to do it. I'm not this crazy, but I love being out there. I needed to go out there. I needed to connect. So I guess my point is, if you're feeling anxious and something's going on, whether it's you're having, you know, thoughts about Transact Card, your life, your wife, your husband, you know, kids, you know, we all go through it. Resort back to the things that make you feel good. Because when I got up there, all of a sudden I came back and when I was talking to Colette, I'm like, I'm good now, you know, and I didn't realize what I was missing. So that's my story for today.
Did that sun set wide right or did it set?
Oh man, I'm never gonna hear the end of this. I knew you were gonna throw that in too,
Steve,
Steve.
you're
Thank
just
you.
piling it on. You're piling on to the pain. Come on, Steve.
I need a tissue.
Yeah, she's trying to feel better about her day, not worse. Now, come on. All right.
Well, they
I have
beat
thick
they beat
skin.
the
I have
Steelers.
very thick skin. Very
They
thick.
beat the Steelers and I heard about it. So I
I'm a
just figured
Bills fan for Pete's sake. I have to have thick skin.
right.
Oh my goodness. I love that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Amy, for that, because I wanted people to see it's not, I mean, we all have those days, there's lows, there's highs. And as our power quote goes, don't let your highs get too high and your lows get too low. It's just that happy medium there. So next I want to bring on Michael Zappia as he's driving. His name is labeled Colette Daniels. I'm so sorry about that, Michael. It's just the way things have had to be done and I can't rename you. So everybody, I wanted to throw it over to Michael because I'm sure he has a story to add to maybe in relation to how things go in a company, all the changes, the ups and downs. I'm not sure what he's going to talk on because, we just don't know. Sometimes I do, but today I do not know what he's going to talk about. So Michael, you have something for us?
I do. Thank you, Colette. And I want to let you guys know we just had the pleasure of being spoken to by two sons of Vitches. I don't know if anyone caught that, but Steve's a son of a Vitch, and so is Tony. And I just had to share that joke because it just popped in my head. So,
The
Steve,
Vitch
I'm
is
sure
back. The Vitch is back. Just know that.
you son of a Vitch, you really are a son of a Vitch, which is really kind of cool. Anyways, Amy, you touched on something really cool that, I mean, I've been going through some ups and downs too. And quite frankly, the whole day, all I thought to myself is how I want to get to a mountain and go hiking too. Just a missing element in my life. I know Lacey and the St. George gang get out to the mountain all the time. I used to hike every single day. A couple of years ago, I used to get out there, and I sure miss it. So I'm happy to hear you say that. And I think I'm going to make my way out, at least for a brisk walk tonight. Can't hit the mountains when it's like 37 degrees, but anyway. No, Colette called me and I spoke the other night, and it was last night actually, and a little bit today. And she said, Michael, it was a great trip. And she said, if anyone thinks it was a good time for us, it really wasn't a good time. We had fun, of course. And if you saw the pictures, we're taking pictures and laughing and smiling. She said, but Michael, the moment I got off the plane, we were in work mode the whole time. And she was so excited to share with me what was happening without telling me a thing about what happened, because she's under a very strict and stringent non-disclosure agreement. And I could have said to her, Colette, I'm your partner in this whole venture. I should have made you sign a non-disclosure agreement for our relationship, but I didn't make her do that. And truth be told, guys, I don't want to know what's going on with this company. I think the less I know, the more I can grow and the more I can build my business, because inside, and I've been on the inside before. Sometimes when you're on the inside, you're dealing with the growth problems and everything else that's going on. And I'm not saying the company's having growth problems, but every company grows. But sometimes when you're caught up with all that information, it paralyzes you. So when Colette and I talked about this evening's meeting and how she was going to address the team, she did a great job of just letting you know that things are good, the future is bright. And quite frankly, that's all I really need to hear from her. When you trust the people you're working with and you believe in what you do, then you just move forward, you run forward. Does anybody, am I nodding ahead, or does anybody understand where I'm getting with that? It just keep this simple right now. Lacey does. I can see Lacey here. But, I want you guys to think about how fast this year went by. Is it me, or did the year go by really fast? The 2023 went by like in the blink of an eye. And every time I think about how fast a year goes, I just realize that it'll be the end of 2024 before you know it. And if we can all just stay focused a little bit longer on focusing on the mission and not the commission. And I say that to all of you because nobody's really breaking the bank right now with ZTEAM. There's nobody on this team that's making a fortune right now with this business. I mean, I know Colette's doing very well. I know some of you are making a little bit of money, but nobody's making a fortune yet. And once people on this team start making a lot of money, this thing multiplies times 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So my hat is off to each and every one of you who got involved 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. But I don't think we have anybody on the team that's been involved more than 8 months. And 8 months is such a short period of time in the history of a company, especially a startup company. So I just wanted, my simple message today, and I'll make it quick, is we're 3 feet from gold. How many people have read the book Think and Grow Rich by Dr. Napoleon Hill? Lots of hands just went up. He tells a story about the pioneers that were a part of the gold rush years ago. And there was a group of people that they were digging and digging, and they bought this land, and they were digging and digging. They couldn't get anything. They were just digging up rocks, stones, quartz, but they didn't find any gold. And they're in the midst of the gold rush when people all around them are going crazy because they're striking gold. And this one group of people that bought this land, they failed miserably. And they got to a point where after a year or so, they were done. They stopped digging. And what they did was they sold their land. Somebody else came in and wanted to start digging from where they left off. And it's a beautiful story because within 3 feet, the new people that bought the land struck gold. And they become one of the wealthiest people in the history of our country when it came to the gold rush. But the people before them quit just 3 feet from striking it rich. So, you know, one of the principles of success is persistence. In the book Think and Grow Rich, it's persistence. There's 13 principles in the book. There's 17 or 19 principles in the original manuscript by Napoleon Hill. And one of the things that will make you and I successful is persistence. And you guys have all heard this before. I'm sharing nothing new with any of you, but I just want to remind you. And today when I was at work, I didn't feel like being there. I've taken a lot of this month off. And I got to a point where I didn't want to be there. I took a break. I went and grabbed something to eat, called Colette on the phone, got a text message from a guy. I went back to the dealership. He came back in and he bought a car. I was about to go home after 10 hours and not have anything to show for my day. But I'm always reminded of that word persistence. And whether it's in my daily routine or my business or whatever it is, I'm always striving to just make one more phone call. So my advice for all of you is, number one, stick around. Don't go nowhere. Hey, I could tell you guys 100 stories of the people that were involved with me in one of my first companies and they quit. And then when I called them back and I was making over 6 figures a month, I couldn't believe the vomit that I heard almost coming out of their mouth because they knew they quit when they were 3 feet from gold. And I just, I never quit. And never, ever, ever, ever quit. So that's all I want to share with everyone tonight. You guys we're fortunate to be here. This is the time to build. This is the time to put your head down. And you don't need to know everything. You just need to know the basics. I did one presentation. I'll leave you with this. I did my best Transact card presentation to date last night. It was beautiful. I wish I would have recorded it. No slideshow, no nothing. And I did a great presentation. And I just said, wow, that felt really good. I shared it with a really, really powerful potential partner of ours who's a motivational speaker. And we connected as human beings and friends first. And then he said, Mike, I'm interested to hear more. Right now is not a good time, but get me the information I need. And this is what he said to me. He goes, out of everything that you said so far, there was one thing that made me want to ask you for more information. He said, you got a business that's going to help a lot of people. That turns me on. He said, I don't need any more money. Not saying I'm a multi-gazillionaire, but I don't need any more money. I got plenty of money. He said, but when you told me it's a business that's going to help the little person save money and earn money, he goes, that's what caught my attention. So I thought that was kind of cool to share with you guys. Colette, take it away.
Thank you, Michael. That's amazing. You didn't tell me about that presentation. And I wish you would have recorded it because I'd love to congratulate you, maybe critique you a little.
I wish I would have.
You're going to have to record one, okay? Because I want to hear you. All right. So what I want to end with is, like Michael said, now is the time to build, you guys, because as soon as things kick off right after February, that's when it's going to be easy. Everybody's going to want to be doing this, right? So take advantage of now, right now. Remember that the $25 for life card ends on January 31st. So that's big. And founders end on January 31st. There will never be founders open for founders again. So make sure and take advantage of those two opportunities right now and just keep sharing, get out there and climb that hill, climb that mountain, because you'll feel much better after you do. And I'm going to do that tomorrow, thanks to Amy. You guys have a great night, and thanks for coming on tonight. We'll see you on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific for Michael's training call, and I'm looking forward to that. So it's great to see all your faces. Have a great night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Amy. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Good night.
See you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.